Can I say it this time?
Say what?
Boom!
Okay. Well, sure. Okay. We'll have notes in the post game roundup. Week 2. We're back. We're back, baby. Woo!
This is not live because
of you.
because of me. I have plans, but guess what? Life is too short to make your life revolve around work. Can anybody agree?
Oh, this is work to you. Okay. That's interesting. I've heard different things from you. I've learned quite a few things about Julia today. I've learned she's two-faced. I've learned that she'll say anything to save her bacon, to save hers. I'm not the biggest fan of her tonight, so hopefully that'll come around when we start talking sports. But
literally before I even press record, it was the most this interaction, our relationship was just great. It was great conversation. There was laughter, little punches and jabs. It was just so good. And then now, as soon as the camera starts rolling, he's just rude again.
Because it's business. This is business. We're here.
Right.
So, who are we? We're the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Drake. That's Julia. You know who we are if you tuned in week 1. And if you didn't tune in week 1, welcome. Also, where the were you? But welcome. Seriously, it's a fun time. We're going to have fun this week.
You know where they were? Preparing for college football.
That is true.
Which is the meat, not vegan meat. The meat.
Because you're vegan.
Yes. This is the non-vegan, or this
the
is
secret's out, people.
This is the meat of the episode number 2, which is titled, Drake, please tell.
It's getting a little better. And that means the show's hopefully going to be a little better.
Because if you recall from episode 1, we had no idea what we were doing. But now we have an idea, so it's getting better.
Kind of. We have actual stuff to talk about this week.
There's more things.
There was actually more than expected. I really just thought we were going to go into this talking week 1 football. And, I mean, we're going to talk a lot more football, but we have some business to get down to first before we get into this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, last week.
Business with a certain wheel.
Last week, we bet on Arkansas and Cincinnati. That game was played today, and I bet on Cincinnati, and Drake bet on Arkansas, and lo and behold, I lost. I don't like losing, but I made a bet, and I'm here to pay the consequences.
I'm 1-0, by the way. 1-0 for
that
pigs.
That really doesn't say much.
And when it's all said and done, I think my number on the left side of that column is going to be a lot more than hers. But we'll see. We'll get to our second bet at the end of the show. But first, you just tell them what the whole shebang, for the people that aren't here, tell them what this is, what we're doing.
So we have a weekly bet on a sports game, and if there's not really any games worthy of betting on, there might be another bet. But for now, college football's on. It's happening. We're betting on a game. We do have a disagreement going on. We are betting on Kentucky and Florida. And Florida, Drake, they just beat Utah, who was ranked number 7 in the preseason poll. Wow. First. So
literally just beat Utah like minutes ago. We're doing this because Julie is going to be in another state tomorrow. But let me get this in. We're not really prepared, but it's fine. This is why we're not doing this live, because it's going to be in post. So we're going to be able to work around
this. It's like our practice. So what's going to happen is, since I lost because I went with the underdog Cincinnati, my God, you failed me. Why? But luckily, I can take Spicewell. So
hey, Cincinnati, congrats! You're not going to the playoff this year. You're one actual game on your schedule, and you lost. Sorry.
So I'm going to spin this wheel, and I know you can't read that horrible handwriting that this little boy, I think you...
What? Okay, she's going to spin the wheel, just so we don't have any, I don't know what you would call it, lack of sauce on, the dab on the tongue. We're going to coat a whole saltine in the sauce. So you can't hide from the spice if you end up drawing a hot one.
But we have... How many are in here?
Well, okay, we didn't have enough spaces for the whole thing. So I just put the hottest ones.
What he means to say is that we were unprepared. He bought the wheel, and he was like, oh my God, I have a great idea. We're going to get this wheel. We're going to spin it. Everyone's going to love it. And I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. So then he went on Amazon and bought these hot sauces.
Right.
And it didn't match the number of.
And it didn't need to. You know why?
Placeholders.
Because there are some non-hot sauces on here. So I only put the hottest one. So
Yeah.
I'm going to spin it because she lost and I like spinning things. So let's just see. I think we have 1 or 2 ghost peppers in here, and I think the lightest is like a really hot jalapeno.
Wait,
so
before you spin this, I'm not like manifesting. Wait. Watch me get the least hottest one, and his face is just going to
drop. We'll see. We'll see.
yes.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. You ready? You don't get to see either. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God.
Is it a sweet one?
It's literally the extra hot jalapeno. Like the one I literally just said might be the least. This is.
Watch
I
it
really
actually be
thought-
really hot. Oh, and by the way, we're doing this before the show because Drake thinks that I can't handle this, so I'm gonna have to go
Okay,
the entire
no,
show
no,
without water.
It's not that. Well, yeah, that is a rule. But
That
listen,
is.
if we do it at the end, it's kind of a cop out because we're going to end the show right after it.
And then I can run to the bathroom screaming, crying, "Oh my God, it's so hot!"
Well, I don't expect
You won't
to
catch
do
me
that.
slipping. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take this like a champ. No one's gonna even know I even ate hot sauce.
Extra hot. Yeah, we could have been prepared. It's fine.
I had no involvement in
There it
any of this
is.
decision.
There it is. Extreme jalapeno. I see it.
Let's count the seconds it takes Drake to handle this entire situation. So while we're getting this done,
Boom. It's done. Talk about where
You-
you're going tomorrow while I get this prepared. Why
So-
you think these people aren't important enough for you to actually be doing this live tomorrow?
so I had a friend get concert tickets, and I was like, "Oh,
Hey, I had a friend. She's already putting the blame on someone else. Just note it. Note it while she's
Listen.
continuing to tell her.
listen, I had a
fibs.
friend invite me to a concert, and it's only 3 hours away." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." So I'm gonna go. And it's in Dallas, and that's why we can't do the live. Because you know what? I work so freaking hard all the time.
There it
I'm
is.
always working on weekends.
There it is.
And this is not the work I'm talking about. This is my fun time, my work fun time, my work fun time with Drake. I'm talking about the work that I have to do. When I was here preparing, I was working. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go on a Sunday because it's on a Sunday.
Oh, it's open. It's open.
I hope it singes off your eyebrows. Oh,
I just
yikes.
not a big fan of. It's fine. Okay.
Do I hear you complaining about the hot
It's
sauce?
on my hands.
Because when I finally win,
Which, with the bet this week, we'll see. Okay,
Listen,
hold on. I'm dabbing. Hold
Florida
on.
just beat number 7 Utah. Number 7. It wasn't like they were ranked.
Oh, you know what?
16 or
I'm
25.
gonna shake this real quick. Just kind of separate it. It's kind of just been.
So
sitting
to
in
go
the
back to
package.
what we were talking about, we will be going live next Sunday. Hopefully, hopefully I don't work. Who knows? Drake might have a remote. Do you have remotes on Sundays, Drake?
No, I don't because I told them I'll be busy Sundays with this. I'm just saying. Listen, guys. Hey, right here, me and you.
There it is.
One of us is more committed to this shtick than the other, and I
Who?
think you know who it is.
Who had the idea? Oh, don't tell me. I think I might know. Listen.
Listen,
Listen.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't like to toot my own horn.
I think I said
But,
that earlier today.
Okay, hold on. Oh yeah.
You know, I wish I could see this, but our overlay is covering it up.
No, it's okay. You don't need to see it right now. Oh, but yeah, that's right. Look at that.
So we will be going live on Twitch next Sunday. So right now we are recording for YouTube, and we're going to put some clips on Instagram like we normally do. There's just no chat interaction, and there's no Twitch viewership, which is fine because all it builds is anticipation. And here we go. Oh, I love how your fingers are touching all over the thing I'm about to eat. That's awesome.
Okay, hold on. I dipped both sides in a small case of the hot jalapeno.
There it is.
I have a really good feeling this is going to be really underwhelming because it didn't singe the nostrils.
Oh, wow.
That's why I'm really
No,
coating it.
Kind of did. Okay.
All right, here we go.
I don't-
I wish we would have had the ghost pepper. It's fine. Whatever. Here we go.
Here's-
Hey! Get the ramekin. Put the mic on the thing so you can grab. No! Put the mic on the stand. Grab the ramekin so you don't make a mess. That's why I got the ramekin in the first place.
Hey, Dad.
Here we go. No, up to the mic though. It's ASMR.
I don't want to. Okay.
It's ASMR.
Thank you, Cincinnati, for losing. I really thought the underdog was going to pull this one off, but again, I was wrong.
Here we go. All the way. Yeah. To the mic. Up to the mic. Mm-hmm. God, I knew it was going to be underwhelming.
You know what that tastes like? It's really good.
Okay.
And you know what, Cincinnati? I know you lost, but guess what? I got to eat a really good saltine cracker, and now I'm going to have to... It's going to be dry in my mouth for the next couple of hours, but that's fine.
Well, that was really underwhelming. That's what happens when you rely on a party pack of hot sauce from Amazon.
Julia 1, Drake 0. All right.
Let's get down to business.
Do you have napkins for me?
We have our resident vegan outside. You
Anyway.
think she could go get napkins. I always, my motto in life is always have a pair of vegan friends because one's just not enough.
Right. I don't think anybody's ever said that.
I did just now. Okay.
Well, okay, before you start talking about the great old college football scene, can I just say that I know he is so upset about what just happened. I know my pain would probably bring him so much joy, but the fact that that was so underwhelming, he's probably just quaking right now in his chair.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about our show now. Woo. Don't worry. We have some revamps coming to the system. Ways you guys can pitch in to make the show a little bit more fun. Those will come next week.
Yeah,
we'll talk about those later.
We're going to be working hard for that.
Okay, let's get down to it. We ready?
Hit me.
Week 1 happened. We're doing this on a Saturday night, so some games are just ending. We're only going to cover the ones that we actually care about. Do you have the videos ready, just in case? I'm going to tell them about the 2 that just ended. You look and double check just to make sure that any games from like the clips we have for the video dump, because that would be good for right now. Okay, the ones that just ended now. Number 5 Notre Dame traveled to Columbus, Ohio. Okay, the Ohio State Buckeyes were favored heavily in this game. Notre Dame, I believe, was leading at halftime, 10-7, but Ohio State overcame. Oh, if they were leading 10-7 at halftime, Ohio State held them scoreless the whole second half, 21-10. And let me tell you, that's a little bit of a shade of last year because that's when Oregon came into Columbus last year, week 1, and beat Ohio State. So
I'm really not sure.
Ohio State's reversing their favor and coming out with a dub in week 1. What was the other big game? Well, it was a big game on paper. Georgia was playing in a neutral site game, even though the neutral site was in Georgia.
Yeah, I didn't really understand. That's why I just bypassed the whole idea. I was like, okay.
But it wouldn't have mattered even if they were playing this game in Oregon because Oregon got walloped 49-3. Bo Nix, starting quarterback for Oregon, former Auburn quarterback. So I think I saw some on Twitter where it was like Bo Nix traveled 700 or like 1,000 something miles just to still get beat by Georgia.
Yeah, he was really getting riled up on.
We talked about it a little last week as well. We thought Oregon at 11 was high, and I thought that as well, just because they kind of had an overhaul, kind of like what happened with OU. We'll talk about that game as well. Okay, those were the 2 games that just happened Saturday, just now, that just ended. Let's talk about the ones that happened earlier today. Okay, so what's up on the docket? Oh, I did have that written down. We got the bet game out of the way, Georgia. Okay. This one wasn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but in the way it ended, it was. North Carolina, Appalachian State. Final score 63-61. No defense to be seen anywhere. The big story out of this game was not that North Carolina won. It was that Appalachian State scored 40 in the fourth quarter and still lost.
When I first saw that tweet, in fact, I was out at soccer at my job. I was covering it, and I was looking at everything that was going on in college football, and I saw that specific tweet about them scoring 40 in the fourth quarter, not even pulling off a win. And I'm like, how? This is just the season of what ifs.
It's week 1.
And I'm here for it.
Okay. Maybe just as crazier. Iowa versus South Dakota State. Iowa not ranked preseason top 25, even though they were highly touted last year. Last year, yeah, a little bit. They were in the race for the Big Ten. They won 7-3 against South Dakota State. Now, Julia, I know when you look at that score, you're like, oh, they only scored 1 touchdown. Oh no, Iowa did not score any touchdowns. Do you want to know how they got their 7 points? They got their 7 points off of a field goal and 2 safeties. So, in other words, Iowa's defense scored more points than Iowa's offense.
See, that would be a good time to press the chuckle button, but you missed out on.
We don't have a chuckle button.
Yeah, we don't have a laughter button.
No, don't use it. We're not in the moment. Okay, so yeah, Iowa not looking too great offensively, but that's what I expected. That's a lot of what they were last year, except they just did it they were able to hide it better last year because of superstars. They don't have that superstardom this year. Another one that was kind of surprising, NC State, preseason 13, traveling to East Carolina, home of former OC, a little guy by the name of Lincoln Riley. We don't really like to say his name around.
Oh, where did Lincoln Riley coach, Drake? Do you remember from?
No, I really don't. But anyways, NC State, highly touted by some as being the 4th team in the playoff this year with Utah. Spoiler alert, Utah didn't make it out of Florida tonight either. So their playoff hopes are pretty much decimated. But North Carolina State barely escaping East Carolina, 21-20. Okay, let's get to the games that we cared about. Do you want to go Oklahoma first, or do you? Because I have a little bit for mine. I don't know if you noticed above the on-air sign over there. There's a movie up above it, and I have a little bit.
I could get up and zoom in, but I think the silhouette and just the colors of the shirts, I guess you could say.
Okay, okay, cool. I'll go in on Texas A&M first. Thanks, Julia. So number 6 Texas A&M played Sam Houston. Let me tell you, the first half, we talked about it last week. I said Texas A&M, if they were ever going to struggle, it was going to be in those early games, those September games and those early October games. And boy, oh boy, I'm telling you right now, Texas A&M is going to be living off their defensive end and the whole defensive unit as a whole, because their offense is god awful. And let me tell you, the man behind the man under center, King, quarterback play. Let me just say this: quarterback play, not a strength at the University of Texas A&M. Gig 'em. Am I right? God. Get over it.
I think the biggest thing from that game, at least in my perspective, was the rain delay. I'm not exactly sure how long it lasted, but I remember watching the game and then it saying rain delay, and it lasted for a long time. Any comment?
No, because usually they play in rain, so it must have been thunderstorm delay.
Oh, it just said rain delay on ESPN.
Okay, let's get to the only game that actually mattered this week. Oklahoma.
Oh, I hear a little bit of bias, but I won't comment on it.
I hold in my hand a classic. Let's see if I can do this without it compromising.
Oh, don't worry, I'll take one for the team and go up there and refocus it.
Oh, what?
Here. You want me to do it?
No, you know what? I'm going to do it. Could you hear that in the other mic? I turned mine down.
Oh,
okay, it doesn't matter.
I heard it.
I hold in my hand The Breakfast Club, which is a movie about a bunch of basically estranged teenagers who are from different walks of life within the high school. And when OU was throttling UTEP today, they ended up winning 45-13. It made me think of this. Because I remember on December 5th when Brent Venables was called up from Clemson to be the head coach at OU. And all I could remember was, it's going to be an overhaul. It's going to be a rebuilding year. There's going to be a lot of faces. There's going to be a lot of people from different walks, a whole new coaching staff. I mean, we're going to get a bunch of archetypes of people, and we don't know how they're going to mesh together in a whole season. Kind of like how we didn't know how these 5 characters were going to mesh in detention on a Saturday at high school. And, it just reminded me, and it just, how this movie ended with, John Bender giving the fist pump on the football field at the very end on the very closing shot of this movie. They all worked out. It all worked out. And that's how it worked out with Oklahoma and UTEP. A bunch of people from different walks of life, new environment, new people, and you know what? It all worked out. Oklahoma throttled UTEP. I think it was, I can't remember. I think they scored on their first 3 drives. They scored in the first 49 seconds of the game. And I was just like, we're back. Am I overreacting to a week 1 win against UTEP? Absolutely I am. But listen, from what I've had to endure the last 5 years, I'll say 3. The last 3 years with TBOW. Not going to say the pronunciation. This is a kid-friendly show. But this was a much-needed, refreshing game for OU fans everywhere. And I'm excited because Kent State will be coming to town, and I expect much of the same. Okay, Julia, now that I've talked, how about you give me a 12-minute in-depth presentation on OU on the offensive and defensive side?
Listen, I sat here while Drake trashed A&M, and let me just say, rain delay. Offense was defense was great. And then he's over here just babying OU, and they played UTEP.
Let me tell you why, okay? Because late in the second quarter is when UTEP scored these points, okay? They scored a touchdown and a field goal in the second quarter, and we only had, I think we were at 20 or 21. And you know what would have happened under the previous regime?
Tell me.
The final score to that game would have been 28-23. We would have pulled it out barely. Because when we were up by a lot after the first quarter, they fought back a little bit. And last year, if that would have been the same team, wouldn't have happened. We would have let them come back. It's a different mentality in Norman, Oklahoma this year.
And again, it is week 1. When week 4 and 5 start rolling around, then you can come and talk.
Come talk to me. Come talk to me when Kansas State plays. That'll be the game. That'll be the coming home game for them. That'll be the first test. Because listen, Nebraska, I thought it was going to be week 3 against Nebraska, but Nebraska barely got by North Dakota this week. So I don't know what the is going on with Nebraska. I was touting them, and now I just feel like a fool.
That's not the only thing that you should feel a fool about.
Okay, that was segment 1. Let's move on because the battery. Okay, segment 2. A little other bit of information that I did not know was going to be released this week is the playoff committee has finally made a decision. The board of directors, if you will. We are getting a 12-team playoff by 2026. Could be as early as 2024.
Yeah,
And so listen, you either line up on one side of the fence or the other. There is a large group of people that are for this expansion, for 12 teams. They say, hey, there are a lot of teams every year that have a stellar record and they think they should be deserving of getting in, but there's only 4 teams. Another argument for that side is that it's always the same 4 teams, which, by the way, true statistic, it is ever since it has been enacted, this playoff, which I believe the first year was 2014, I believe. There has never been a multiple of the same 4 teams in the playoffs. So whoever was saying that, just don't listen to them. They're just trying to make something out of nothing. And then you could line up on the other side of the argument. The other side of the argument is, well, listen, 4 teams is enough. I don't know if you've seen the recent history of the first games in the playoff. Most of the time, they end up being blowouts. So why is it going to be any different when Alabama, who's the number 1 seed, ends up playing Texas A&M, who's the 12 seed, and they get run?
I love how you just predicted that.
Well, Texas A&M has what is it called? I'm thinking of a big word that not everyone's going to get. So they have this thing where they think they're entitled. It's entitlement. That's what it is. They think they belong in, and it's just like, bro, you didn't do good enough in the season. Like, sorry, Johnny Manziel was like 10 years ago.
Where is Johnny Manziel now? We don't know.
Who knows? So, any thoughts on the playoff expansion? Which side of the fence do you fall on? Are you for expansion? Are you not?
I
for
honestly
expansion?
don't know. I've had troubles with trying to pick a side. I really don't know. And that is my honest opinion because, like you said, some teams feel like they deserve to be in it because they have great records. But then it's like the number one seed is going to have to play the last seed and it's going to be a blowout. Like, who wants to watch that?
I think one of the most underrated things about this 12-team expansion is that they're going to format it in such a way where the first games that are played are going to be at the home team field, whoever the higher seed is. I think that's going to be really fun because I'm just trying to imagine like a game, like a playoff game in November at Lloyd Noble. Not Lloyd Noble, that's a basketball. In Norman. Against Texas A&M.
God,
Just kidding.
someone just really doesn't like.
Listen,
Texas A&M.
sorry. I told you I wouldn't dig too deep, but I don't know. After seeing that performance, I don't know. Segment 3. It says on my sheet of paper that you wrote down for me, Serena, and you have a lot of writing, so I'm gonna let you take it because I saw that she is retiring.
She is, in fact, retiring. Wait, before we move on to segment 3, Drake,
What?
what side of the fence do you fall on?
I just told you. I'm for it.
So you are for it.
Yeah. Now listen, I totally get the people that are saying like the games are going to be blowouts, and like maybe at the top, like 1, 2, 3, but like those 5, 6 seeded games. I mean, those are the games I'm going to be watching. You think I watched Alabama today when they took on? Oh, I just had it pulled up. You think I watched Alabama play Utah State today? No. Let's just see it right now. Number one, if it was today, number one, Alabama would play the 12th seed, which would have been North Carolina State. That was the 12th seed this week. And after watching North Carolina State play, probably would have been a blowout. But here's the thing. I think it does more good because it brings more listen, I'm going to go the business route. Sorry. Get off me. It's going to bring more money in. It's going to have more NIL opportunity for players. Well, if they do it right, it will. I mean, they're greedy up there, so I don't know. But I just think it's more of like a lesser of two evils, really. There's more good than bad coming out of the expansion. And I actually think it is going to happen in 2024. I think that date is going to be moved up because 2024, I believe, is when Texas and Oklahoma go to the SEC or are scheduled to go to the SEC. And that's also, I believe, when the two LA schools go to the Big Ten. So I really think they're going to try and push for that 2024 date just because it perfectly aligns everything. I also saw a report out there that said now that the playoff expansion is happening, the whole conference realignment thing is going to be put on hold. So don't expect any more teams to be jumping from their conferences now to other conferences until we get this whole playoff expansion thing sorted out. So basically, in the grand scheme of things, Oklahoma and Texas got out of there when they needed to before the big bang happened, which was today, this week. Serena Williams, Julia. I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Well, the reason for that is I did not get to watch.
Because you have.
I did not get to watch much football today. It's sad. But
Okay.
guess what? We leave it to Drake to carry that segment of the show. And guess what? Hopefully I don't work a lot next weekend so then I can watch everything.
Maybe you'll just stop working as much.
And maybe you'll get your foot off my chair.
Well, listen, you're about to go into a diatribe here, so I'm kind of intrigued because I did not see this match. I actually was working. Now I sound like her.
Oh, were you? Wow, that makes
This happened like morning to midday. I was at the station working. I was on air. So please.
Let's have a look-see. So basically, everybody knows Serena Williams, arguably the greatest tennis player of all time.
I can't disagree. I wish I could because I love disagreeing with you, but
I know, in the female division, I should say. She, in the U.S. Open, it was actually heartbreaking. So she beat the number 2 player in the world, and I need to try and pronounce her name correctly. I've been trying to all day.
just take a stab at it.
Annette
Mhm.
Kontaveit. And
Yep.
you got to say it with an accent for it to be correct, but we're not going to do that here on this show. So this Serena was working towards what would have been her 24th Grand Slam. That would have been the most ever won. The current record holder is Margaret Court. She has 24 Grand Slam titles. Serena was at 23. If she would have won the whole thing, she would have been tied for it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought she had the most already.
No, she did not. She was behind
Wow.
Margaret Court.
So is she actually the GOAT?
Yes. Because here's why. The woman was 40 years old. So, like, a couple of days ago.
So old.
40 years old. She had a kid. Still competing in tennis. Still competing at the high level she wanted to. All these years, because she's been in her career for 27 years now. And, like, once you hit, I mean, when do you think you peak as an athlete? I mean, I guess we were never professional athletes. We kind of were just washed up college athletes. So, when do you think you peak? Like, when you're just...
I'd probably say in the range of 27 to 29. I think, well, I guess it changes. I guess it depends for everyone. Those late 20s, though, is probably where I'd nail most of the in prime athletes. So yeah, what is the too slow? Is that what people?
Now you're reading my notes.
Well, I was curious about it. Is that just people saying that?
Yeah, and she kind of hinted at it as well. I mean, she's 40 and she's competing against girls like half her age or a third of her age, whatever you want to look at it. But she didn't feel like herself, and she was already thinking about retiring. So if you can only imagine how that must have felt to her when people were kind of assessing her performance, she wasn't as fast as she normally was. I mean, obviously, because she's aging.
Of course.
But the woman did it, and she took care of number 2, and I still got to get this girl's name right, but she's from Estonia. So she beat the second highest ranked player at the U.S. Open. She was going to move on to the third round, which would have put her...
She did move on to the third round.
Yeah, would have put her in a position to win, which she did not. And she lost to Australia's Isla. We're not going to say her last name.
Oh, I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and read that handwriting.
Where is it?
Right there.
I can't read your handwriting.
Okay, so that's
Shocker.
fine. We're just going to... And here's the thing. When they interviewed Isla after she won, they didn't address her with her last name. Journalism rule number 1.
Listen, they're not good at their job.
Oh.
I'll go take their job.
Right. So anyway, she lost in 3 sets in that third round, and it was almost bittersweet. Everybody was cheering. The whole place was packed with celebrities, by the way, which we're going to talk about in just a second.
Tomo Jovovich. See how easy that was? Why can't people do their job? Like, seriously, just do it. Just say it. They're going to correct you if you're wrong.
Anyway, moral of the story, Serena Williams is no longer in the tennis realm. She already felt like she was stepping away from tennis. She felt like she was needing to retire. I mean, at 40 years old and you're still competing at that high level, it's kind of time to pack it up.
I have an opinion on this, and it has nothing to do with the product she puts out on the court.
Okay.
Serena, famous for what I believe when her and her sister came in, was because they came out with the movie with Will Smith. It was a couple months ago, it was like a biography, like about their life.
Yes.
I think I didn't watch the movie, but I want to say that there was a scene like there was criticism because they had like all the beads in their hair or something like that. I'm just saying, I had a cornrow phase, and it was like not that long ago. I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. By the way, yeah, I could pull them off. You don't have to ask. I'm just saying, if I would have went beads instead of rows, I'm just saying. Not bad. Something to think about.
So what were you hinting at right there?
I was just hinting at, maybe if we get enough subscribers, instead of me getting a tattoo, maybe I just get, is it still rows?
Cornrows.
With just beads? Maybe I get beads. I don't know. Maybe we let the people decide.
Maybe we just shave your head, and then we tattoo your head with Liquid Death's logo.
1,000 subscribers. We'll talk about it later next week. But yeah, that is my one take on Serena Williams, because I'm not a tennis man. I don't pretend like I'm not going to sit here and bull you and say that, hey, I'm a tennis man, because I'm not. Congrats. She's the GOAT, though.
She is the GOAT, and she retired on a high note. I know she wanted to make it to that third round with a win, but did not. But here's the highlight of this whole spiel. The celebrities that were there. And let's...
Did you just say the highlight of it? football.
No,
The highlight is her, not
No,
the
no, no.
people that were there.
of the show, of this show.
Right.
Of this show. The highlight in the sports world, Serena, because she's queen. This show, where we really just kind of go on a tangent about sports, the celebrities.
Who was there? Who was there, Julia?
You ready for this?
Indulge me.
Well, Tiger Woods. What do you have to say?
Who?
Tiger Woods.
Kind of hazy up there. Remind me. Who is that?
Drake. You know,
Oh, Tiger Wood.
let's
the
see
golf,
what Wikipedia says about Tiger
golf
Woods.
player.
I'm actually intrigued by this.
Sorry, I've been thinking about John Daly all day for his
Oh.
comments made on the SEC network. I don't think we can play that.
We
I don't think
probably
we can,
shouldn't.
but I wanted to.
Tiger Woods.
Hey, just know I pushed for it, you guys. She's like the final say person, but just know I'm here looking out for your best interest. I wanted that John Daly video. I pushed for it.
Let's just say, just search it on Twitter. It's probably trending still.
John Daly SEC network comments. You won't regret it.
It'll be trending for the next week.
And while you're at it, go ahead and follow us on Twitch.
SYS Podcast, all lowercase. Okay, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. And
And
I heard he wore that costume to the Open.
who? Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't think he did that. He's actually been doing I keep up with Hugh Jackman a lot. I'm not a Hugh Jackman fan, but I like to know what I like to know where Hugh Jackman is at in the world because I don't really trust him. It's kind of like with you. I don't really trust Hugh. There's a lot of people that I like to keep tabs on even though I don't know them. Hugh Jackman is one of them.
How about Russell Wilson? He made an appearance. Do you trust Russell
Hugh
Wilson?
I'm talking about Hugh Jackman. He's been doing some Broadway plays. He's been doing The Music Man on Broadway. I believe he's still doing it. So I don't know where this happened. I don't know where this U.S. Open takes place.
In New York.
Oh, okay. So it makes sense. He's been in New York. He needs to stay there. I don't need him going around doing international shoots. Okay. Okay. Who else was there?
Someone
Zendaya.
Not like
Zendaya had like the 70s like mom look going on. She had the big rim glasses with like the sweater.
it's like a fashion show up in there.
Speaking of Zendaya, I saw Tom Holland while I was in New York. He
Thank you.
was filming at Rockefeller Center.
Was he also shooting spider webs out of his fingers?
No, he wasn't. My little brother Davis got a video of him, and he looked at the camera and he went like this. He went, "What's up?"
Wow, shout out to Davis for getting that.
No,
I'm sure
he's
he
fine.
felt very proud.
He'll be all right. Okay, who else was there?
Rebel Wilson, Pitch Perfect Queen.
Lost a lot of weight, I think.
She
I
did.
believe.
And, props to her because she was always known as Fat Amy, and then she lost all the weight, and it's like, oh my gosh, what do we reference her to?
Well,
I mean-
you just call her Thin Amy now. I mean,
Right.
do we have to make it so hard on ourselves?
No, that's really good. Yeah. Okay. But that's pretty much it. All the celebrities were there cheering her on, and on this show we go on tangents. So that's why I wanted to throw that bit in there. But Serena's queen.
Let's watch out for Hugh Jackman. That's all.
We don't trust Hugh Jackman.
Well, I don't, but
I like Hugh Jackman. Wolverine.
Segment 4. The fan favorite. It seems like.
The SYS Podcast Video Dump, brought to you by no sponsors yet because we are still looking for those.
Yet.
Okay, here we go. Drake, what should we start with?
I don't know. These are completely curated by you, and I like to give my unbiased first time reaction.
Did I hear unbiased?
Yeah, I mean, how you gonna?
That word is not in your vocabulary.
Let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk.
So,
okay.
SC State.
What's going on here? Oh yeah. What are the two teams? Give me the two
So
teams. I can't
it's
see.
SC State and then University of Central Florida. So I did not watch this game, but this was early. In fact, our screen is a lot smaller than what you're viewing on. I believe this was in the first quarter. Okay, about 7 minutes to go.
Basically, South Carolina State was lining up for a punt, and the punter kind of muffed it a bit, and he started running with it, right? and he got about 15 yards, and I think he just kind of had like one of those mental lapses, kind of like I have when I was in a chemistry class in high school. It was like the first thing I had to do, the first class I had to go through. Had a mental lapse, and he ended up punting the ball, even though I'm pretty sure he had the first down
But
already.
what's interesting, and I was reading the comments, and by the way, some people are so committed to finding out what's actually going on. Someone put a college, like I think it was an NCAA, like little clip of a rule book.
They brought the handbook, yeah. You know why they do that, right? Because they have no life.
Oh,
That's like 50% of people on.
that was the
You hit the wrong button.
Nope. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And here we got
Okay, listen.
Rock and.
Just you're the video person and I'm the live mixer, okay?
All right, good deal. Okay, so anyway, he passed the line of scrimmage, which I read on the tweet in that clip. They were saying it was illegal.
Yeah, it's a dead ball.
So
it's just a turnover on downs.
And that goes without saying that he was not smart. Okay.
I'm your resident referee, Drake, by the way.
Ooh.
I know everything.
Let's focus there. Okay.
All right, video number 1.
This was Drake's favorite. And before you say anything, this is... I have not crapped on OU this entire...
Well, there's nothing to crap about. The
Oh.
only thing you can say about us is that we haven't won a playoff game.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
What else?
Oh, don't get defensive. Here, let me just...
At least we've been to a playoff.
Okay. So, I have not said anything about OU.
Jimbo
and
Fisher.
I'm actually... I'm actually a fan, okay?
Johnny Manziel. Gig 'em.
This was Drake's favorite.
And guess what? I'm going to expose her again because of the casual fan she is. She didn't understand the joke. And hey, listen. I'm going to be the bad guy here. I know some of you viewers, you don't know what this is either. I know you don't get the joke either.
And they can't see you because they were covered up. Or
You don't get the joke either.
You were covered up by the tweet. Let me go ahead and read this out loud. I'll put my butt hurtness aside. So, someone tweeted, in an unexpected move, the CFP, the College Football Playoff Committee, has preemptively released a single ranking from its 2026 final poll, and they have A&M sitting at 13. And if you heard from our previous spiel about the 2026 newly enlarged playoff, they were going to have 12 teams, and A&M was going to be ranked at 13. So if that tells you anything, Drake.
The joke is that A&M, I believe, it wasn't last year. 2 years ago, I think they ended up number 5 in the playoff rankings, even though some fans, by fans I mean just Texas A&M, because no one else thought they deserved to be in. So this is basically an outside looking in joke because Texas A&M has never made a playoff, and they're always either like close or they're the next out. So I thought this was hilarious. I laughed out loud, actually.
And I am an A&M fan, gig 'em. And I honestly would have to agree with Drake. That is funny because, like he just said, they were duped by their own mind, by their own perspective. They were chipped, and it's funny. It's comical, and we're gonna close that out now before I get sad.
Yep.
All right, we got a puke and rally clip. So I believe this is.
Oh, whoa, TMI.
Here.
I didn't see this one.
So
Good. Oh,
essentially,
my Lord.
homeboy right there gets a pick 6, immediately has to hurl.
When is this happening in the game?
This is.
I know, sorry, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but it
Penn
actually matters.
Penn State and Purdue, and it's in the 4th quarter, so they have been playing a while. So
Wow.
it wasn't the 1st quarter. It's not like he ate something bad and just immediately had to puke.
Well,
This
no,
was-
that's shocking. I don't expect I'm not trying
Really?
to paint this picture as like he ate like if it would have happened in the 1st quarter. You ever done the jitters throw up?
Oh, I mean, I actually know.
Because some
but-
people do the jitters dump. It's a thing. Like it's patented. Like it happens all the time. But I also have seen people do the jitter throw up. So it's actually really surprising. I'm assuming it has to be either dehydration.
Okay, so this was the clip I wanted in here, but there is another clip. You can go find it if you search Puke and Rally, Penn State. But that is a Purdue guy. But this is the one I found. He was running fast, and I'm not sure if him just on full blast kind of just upset the stomach. I'm not really sure. We're not going to assume. But, wow.
I don't know. I don't think it's food.
I legitimately think. I mean, obviously there's no jitters because Purdue is up. Oh, they're only up 30-28.
Well, they
over
ended
Penn
up
State.
losing that game. Penn State beat them.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he manifested that they were going to lose. He
But
saw
yeah,
it and he just got sick.
Jitters throw up, patented by the way, trademarked.
Yeah, Drake knows best. Okay, last one for the evening. This was by far my favorite one,
What?
and courtesy of Drake sending me. So,
Oh yeah.
East Carolina. So this is when they were losing to
North Carolina State.
Yeah, they were playing NC State. Okay.
Yeah. We talked about it segment 1. Come on. I need Okay, I could make a really bad joke right now, but I'm not going to. I know your history of head trauma. Not doing it.
And that's where I put the ellipses in, ... for moving
it.
on. So essentially, what did you say this was on? Because I forgot
NC
the
State was at the
context.
goal line.
Right.
And they tried to punch it in.
And we thought there was no whistle when they were moving him back. And not one.
Well,
not
listen,
two.
even though there was a whistle, it was still late. I mean, that was still about 5 or...
Well, here, ready?
Yeah,
Well,
so East Carolina
10
starts...
yards.
East Carolina starts pushing the dude back, and then one guy turns into 5. And at about the 10-yard line, when he gets pushed back, a whistle is blown. And they just keep going. And 5 turns into like 7 guys.
I mean,
and he gets pushed all the way back to the 20. And
but can you blame the ref? I mean, okay, quite honestly, NC State ranked.
They're not ranked. East Carolina's not ranked. NC State was 12.
Yeah, that's what I said. So NC State ranked 12.
Okay.
East Carolina is contending with them, and it's the fourth quarter. I mean, they have a lot of time to win. You might as well let the dudes play.
I mean,
And they
they're
pushed
just
him back
saying-
15
hey,
yards.
listen. This is just a statement, okay? Pretty sure North Carolina had been able to run the ball the whole game. They just kept trying to punch it in. You ever just sit there and say, like, I'm going to punch through this wall? And it never happens because you're a weak...
I don't think I've ever run into that problem.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed this one. They pushed the dude back 15 yards.
There was a lot of videos that did not make it.
For reasons that we will not discuss. And let me just say, Drake's sense of humor, it's good, but it's not appropriate.
Well, says you.
Says me.
What is that? Is that the last video?
That is the last video. So we're going to take that off of there.
I'm really proud. Okay, wrapping up the show here, segment 5, 5th and final segment, as I like to say. I don't know why I did that. I didn't want that in my. I don't like the mic. I don't like the mic stand. Like I get it. Like we
Yeah, but you used
put
it.
your hard-earned cash into that. Like we get it. You work a lot, but I like to be personable. Like I like to get up in people's business and let them know that I'm right.
Okay, but
I'm right.
When you were reading off the scores and all of that spiel about college football today in week 1,
Yeah.
the mic was on the stand.
Right, but, I kind of went on a diatribe because it means a lot to me and it's week 1. Like, as the weeks go by, well, actually, I'm not sure. As the weeks go by, it's going to get worse. It's actually going to get worse because the games are going to start to matter more. Watch what happens when OU loses their first game.
Yeah, and he'll probably throw the mic stand at the wall.
I'll probably throw up. Like the guy
puke
from
and
Purdue.
rally.
Yeah, like the puke.
I won't play
I'll
that
puke
again.
and rally in my own lap. And I don't need a loss from Oklahoma to do it. I can do it on command.
That.
Anyways, segment 5. Week 2's bet. I'm 1-0, by the way. Don't know if you were keeping score at home. I definitely was. Yeah, we were kind of worried at first. We were going down the list of games, and we were like, we're kind of agreeing on most of them because I thought, Alabama, Texas. We both picked Alabama.
Yeah,
and
if
you didn't pick Alabama, hey, Nathan, I'm looking at you, Texas.
You have
fan.
someone that's picking Texas.
I'm sure the Cook family will be rooting for Texas. They are Longhorn fans. God bless their hearts, as my mom used to say.
Oh,
for people that
Kim.
are just a little too far gone.
Yeah,
God bless them.
No kidding.
But we did find one. It was at the very bottom of the list, and it's one that actually has more implications now based on what happened tonight. Florida will be facing number 20 Kentucky at home, kicking off the SEC schedule. Because you know what the SEC likes to do, right? They like to stick that cupcake game in the middle of the season as opposed to the beginning. It kind of boils my blood because, when we get to week 9 and 10 and Alabama is playing the Citadel, I don't care. And neither should any of you. In fact, I'm going to start a petition to say ban cupcake mid-season games just for the SEC because you know what? OU's going. And if we start doing that, if we start doing the cupcake mid-season games, I'm going to riot. There's going to be stray dogs running around. Okay, yeah, so Kentucky's visiting Florida. Kentucky number 20. You may be asking, Drake, I'm guessing you're going to go with Florida, right? And you know what I'm going to say to that? No, you're wrong because you don't know me, okay? I am going for Kentucky. She is picking Florida. Florida, the 5.5-point underdog in that spread as of right now. But Florida just beat Utah. I'm expecting that number to drop, maybe even as significantly as the underdog. The underdog being who am I thinking of? Kentucky, because of that win over a top 10 team. Why am I picking Kentucky?
Yeah, why are you picking Kentucky?
Because a little man named Mark Stoops turned a nothing poverty franchise, a poverty program that was Kentucky, and they've slowly been getting better and better as the seasons have gone on, as he's been the head coach. I understand that Florida is coming off of a big win, and that's actually very important because the great teams are able to stick with that intensity after that big game, that high-intensity game. Because listen, when you're getting on the bus, you're going back to your dorms. If you're Florida, you're thinking, okay, we just took down the top 10 team. Well, guess what? You got to turn around and you have to turn around and play a top 20 team that is an SEC opponent.
And that's exactly why I'm picking Florida.
Okay.
And I know what everyone's thinking. Oh, you lost because you picked the underdog last week. And yeah, I did lose. And guess what? The hot sauce wasn't even spicy. So who cares?
Yeah,
I took
I'm
it
gonna
like
have
a
to
champ.
do something about that.
Yeah, he's probably going to poison it or something.
Arsenic.
I'm going to die on this show. It's like, oh no, what happened?
Hard. I'm going to have to find another person. That's why we have a resident vegan.
Oh.
She's going to be the shoo-in.
There's so many people lined up to take my place. Guess what? I'm not going down without a fight. And if you think any of those hot sauces in that case over there are going to bring me down, or let alone poison, you don't know me.
I thought we were going a very different direction when you started saying what you started saying. But alas, I'm picking Kentucky. She's picking Florida as of right now. Florida is the underdog. We'll see.
Well, here. Cincinnati disappointed me tonight, and that's fine. I probably should have known better. Arkansas did their job today. I should have. And guess what? The hot sauce wasn't spicy. So.
But you lost. Like, you have a 1 on the right side.
And it doesn't feel good. But guess what? Losing to you in a bet really doesn't mean much to me. So.
Okay, fine. Guy, you don't have to get so butthurt. Go.
Anyway.
It's just a game.
My prediction, Florida is going to keep that intensity that Drake was talking about. Going to take down number 20 Kentucky, and they're still going to keep climbing. I love to pick the underdog. You know why? Because I was the underdog.
Oh,
I relate.
No.
Were you the underdog? I'm sure you were.
I was the realist.
Oh, you just look at like
I was a realist, and I was the realist.
I'm not good. I'm just going to sit here and know I'm not good.
I'm not okay, I promise. You don't know that reference because you were not a scene kid in the mid 2000s. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That's going to wrap up our show. It's 11:55 our time right now.
Play that outro music.
Oh, what? God, you have to set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Where can you find us, Julia?
We are found on all of those socials below.
Just in case you can't read.
Listen.
Hey.
Listen.
Public education in this state, we're near the bottom.
Well,
so I wouldn't be surprised if they couldn't read.
I didn't go to a publicly educated school.
I'm from Texas.
I am from Texas. Yeah, the Lone Star State, baby. Listen, you can find us on the SYS podcast on Twitch, where we usually do our live streaming, but tonight is pre-recorded, which will be found on YouTube, and there will be clips added to this recording. We're going to clip it up, make it look all pretty, so that way you enjoy it more. But if you want to look at our pretty faces, we're kind of good looking. You might as well go to our individual handles listed down below.
Because we're posting highlights there as well. highlights, reels on Instagram. We're posting highlight videos on our Twitters, on our tweeters.
We're going to have to condense it a little bit because Instagram only allows you to post a 90-second reel. Don't know why.
Fake. And Twitter only does 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Even though I know there's ways we can change that because I've seen a longer video on Twitter before.
We're definitely going to find out.
We're going to do it! We're going to do it!
Oh, the Iceman fell.
Yeti.
Anyway, that'll do it for our second show titled It's Getting a Little Bit Better because guess what?
It is getting a little bit better.
Every time Drake and I meet, we just take that one extra notch up, and it feels really good.
Well, listen, next week is big. Listen, when you're
big.
In the NBA, that third year, that's the make or break year. When you're a band trying to make it, that third album is the make or break album. It's not just conjecture. The third time is the key. That's when you know if you're going to make it or not.
Right. Good job.
I'm not saying the pressure's on us, but it's on. Hey, it's on us. Okay? All right? We'll see you next week for the Shoot Your Shot podcast.